Hello and welcome to People First Podcast. Today we're very happy welcome Jerry to the show. Jerry has been self-advocate for 30 years. We are excited to talk to and learn
more about him.
more about him. Welcome to the show. You set up
The first
the first
people first
People First
in England.
in England. Why did you decide to do this?
I set up the first People First in London and Thames, not the first one just in England. Um, I decided to do this because I used to live in London. I knew there was a group of people with learning disabilities in this area and their supporters. I learned quite a lot from my time in the United States, and I wanted to do something similar in this country.
So why
Why
is
is
self-advocacy? Self
self-casting
Right. It's important to enable people to speak up for themselves and bring people together. Self advocacy is about speaking up for yourself and deciding what is it that you want to do now and in the future. Understanding your strengths and weaknesses and developing personal goals. It takes time to become confident.
you traveled
to America
to America in
84
1984
to a big
to the big
people first
People First
conference.
conference.
How was that
How was that?
and what did you learn?
And what did you learn?
It was quite political. There were people speaking from different states and talking about all kinds of issues. The main issue of at that time was getting people out of long-term institutions. We also said we be inclusive. In Canada and America, their groups are led by people with learning disabilities, and we are working to promote that in England. I learned to have a lot of determination, like when I had to write over 400 letters by hand to get the message out to people.
You
Co-founded
co-founded
Learning
Learning
Disability.
Disability England. How
This group
this group make a
difference
difference
to the
to the way
lives
life
of
of
people
people with learning ability.
The important thing was getting people to work together, which was very difficult in the beginning, but now has become the usual way to do things. Our Good Lives framework shares many messages directly from our members, such as that people with learning disabilities should be paid for the work they do and the knowledge they bring. We said we want real jobs with real wages. This connects into housing and other day-to-day needs and helps improve lives and self-worth. Chapter 5 of the Good Lives framework is focused on self-advocacy and reflects what LDE's self-advocacy members have told us. They want to be part of the decision-making process. They want the right training and they want to have a voice, be listened to and be heard.
What types
of support
of support
has been
has been
most helpful
most helpful
to you,
to you,
and how
and how
do you
do you
think
think
support
support
for people
with
with learning disabilities
living disabilities
can still
till
improve?
approve?
Our supporters help us with all the activities that we need to do to make our voices heard and our issues taken into consideration. That might be in writing speeches, organizing travel, or help and support at conference venues and events. A lot of people were doing this for the first time when self-advocacy came to England, and this type of support helped them to build confidence. Now, a lot of more self-advocates go to conferences by themselves without support. Self-advocates still need training on how to be a good self-advocate and to become a good leaders so that they can lead their own organization and become as independent as possible. They should be trained in an ambassador role. The aim would be to lead a financial and organizational independent organization, a true grassroots organization which is self-reliant. Self-advocates need personal effectiveness training to build assertiveness, self-esteem, and confidence.
Y is person, distance, stand, toe, support, search, and important thing for people with learning ability.
So person-centered support is based on each person's individual needs, done with mapping and personal-centered planning, making sure that there is a clear plan in place to support each other, each different individual. This plan needs to be regularly updated. It is so important for people with learning disabilities because it helps us to achieve our best and be part of the community, help us to get a job, to get about. It helps us achieve our dreams and aspirations.
What are
The biggest
the biggest
changes in life
changes of life
for people
for people
with learning disabilities
with learning disabilities
since you started
since you started
working
working
as an advocate?
as a church?
The biggest change is that there is a lot more knowledge. I can now use the computer, tools like spreadsheets and word processing, which wasn't available when we started out. People are much more aware of civil rights and human rights and in improving the lives of others, of all people with a learning disability. There has been a great building of networks. I've built mine up over the past 30 years, meeting lots of people, building connections. That is the great benefit of LDE's membership network. We work together to help each other and use each other's strengths. Collaborating gives us a lot more opportunity to achieve more our lives and all people with life disabilities. And we are collaborating gives us a lot more opportunity to achieve our best and be part of a big organization covering the whole of England.
You
have
have made many speeches in important places. Why is important for people with learning ability to use their voices.
It is important to share our opinions and have them heard, be listened to, so that people take notice of our needs. The Good Lives Framework is all there, written down in easy read and in depth, so that people in power can see what we want and need. What LD's members have said, this will help us to be part of society and contribute in every way that we can, living our good lives.
What advice
would you give
do you give
to anyone
to anyone
with a
with the
learning disability
learning disabilities
who wants
to want
to become
become
a self-advocate?
self-advocate?
I would say go to the university or college and learn as much as you can by learning all the different ways of communicating, whether it is music, art, speech, and also go and learn about becoming a leader. Take your time and don't rush. We want to get as many young people started up so that they can make a difference for the next generation of self-advocates.
What are your plans for the future?
We are working on building on the Good Lives framework together with our members. There are areas such as transport and health which still need to be improved for people with learning disabilities. For example, it is hard for people with a learning disability living in rural areas to get about because there are no regular bus links. We are also preparing for next year's LD conference, where we all share our members' most recent experiences and what the current issues are.
That all we have time for on the show today. We'd like to say a big thank you to carry again. 4. Coming on
Short.
to serve and
Answering.
answering our question today
It's
is been really
interesting.
interesting
To
to learn about your life and
self-advocacy. Self.
self and for it. Is there anything else you would like
To say
to say
before
before we end
the show.
the show?
I'm hoping that in the future that my ambition will be to present a television program for like a chat show, a bit like Question Time for people with learning disabilities. We used to have loads of disabled programs on television years ago, but it doesn't seem to happen as much now. But that's what I would like to get back on.
I
Yeah.
think that's it for us. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Brill. Well, I think we can just all just say thank you to Gary very much for coming and speaking to us.
Go. Thank you. You stop. Hey.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Brill. Right. I'm sure we'll run into you again before long, Gary. I hope so anyway.
Yeah, I hope so too, because it's
And
nice to be interviewed by a really lovely team.
yeah, no, good job, guys. And have a lovely rest of your day, both of you, won't you?
I try to.
Right,
Take
see
care.
ya.
Yeah,
Take care,
bye.
everybody. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.